Well, it may surprise you to learn Connecticut is home to nearly 3,000 homeless veterans, including the growing number of men and women returning home from Iraq and Afghanistan. Too many of those who fought for our country are coming home with nowhere to go, and that's why the Home Front was born. It's a transitional housing program that will give veterans a second chance. They'll not only get a warm, safe place to stay, the veterans at the Home Front will receive the support they need to re-enter society and the workforce. And as you can see, a lot of work has gone into getting this place ready, but the Home Front still needs your help to open in January. Here with more, please welcome from Columbus House, John Brooks, and from VA Connecticut, Dr. Lori Harkness. Thank you both so very much for being here. We appreciate it. And happy Veterans Day to both of you today. Let's start with you if we can, John, because I want you to set up for us what Home Front is all about. How did it come about?
Well, the Home Front came about, Columbus House already deals with many veterans in our homeless shelter and in our transitional programs and in our permanent supportive programs. And we have a great relationship with VA Connecticut, and it was a natural progression to just take this to the next step and have a home dedicated specifically for veterans.
And Dr. Harkness, you have to be seeing a lot of people coming in. We were talking earlier, the number really is rising, a big increase. And what are you finding?
Well, there's a big increase in the younger veterans, the younger soldiers presenting for care, particularly women and women with families. What we're finding is that they need treatment. They need mental health treatment. They need medical treatment. A lot of them are coming in with neck and back and leg problems, but they also need the adjustment, the coming home issues addressed.
But I would also imagine with post-traumatic stress syndromes and things of that nature, it must be really difficult for them to find a way to kind of get acclimated to society again, the way that things are now.
Right, is that many of the readjustment issues, the coming home issues, are expected. They're normal issues. We teach them when they go to war, when they go to conflicts, to disassociate, to hold their feelings in, to not express what the pain is when they see their colleagues hurt or lost or injured, and they come home and they just can't turn off those feelings, is so that it's expected that they're going to have trouble readjusting back home. Is what's happening is many of them, because soldiers are very prideful people, is that, and there's a lot of shame and stigma still associated to coming for help. So many of them are waiting to come for help, at least mental health help, until there's really a problem there, until maybe they've expressed anger. They've gotten, their spouse has asked them to leave, so they find themselves on the streets. Is that it's hard. It's hard to ask for mental health treatment.
How did the two of you link up in terms of VA Connecticut and having you get hungry enough to help out? I mean, how did you two come together?
Well, we've been working with homeless veterans for years, and we've been collaborating for years because our job is to get homeless people off the streets, get them the services they need, and housing. And the VA cannot do that alone. So we partner with community agencies like Columbus House that provide the housing. And in this case, we're providing transitional housing, which is a place where veterans can live for up to 2 years. While they're there, the VA will provide, like I say, the medical, the mental health, and the vocational services, and will work very closely with Columbus House to ensure that the services that they offer complement what we're providing.
And that's going to be a real blessing to the veterans coming into you for that help and that assistance, knowing that they can come for help. What are you finding on the receiving end of that and being able to come and be able to give that to them?
Well, we're finding that the veterans are very receptive to the services that we're providing, and what I've spoken to many homeless veterans in the shelter now, and many of them are saying to me, John, how can we apply for this? How can we get into this program? Because they're excited that they help each other, and this is what I've learned about veterans, and they help each other to heal, and this house
will allow that.
Will allow that because they're going to be together and they're going to be segregated. And also, they're trying to overcome issues that we're considered a wet shelter, and that means that people can come in if they are inebriated, as long as they're not a harm to themselves or a harm to anyone else. They cannot use in the shelter.
Right.
But if they come in...
You're saying if you're struggling, let us help you.
Yeah, exactly. And so the separate facility, the Home Front, will be able to, the veterans will be able to be segregated from the shelter population while they're helping themselves and while they're receiving services from the VA.
And this is fantastic because at the same time you're dealing with just homeless veterans, and so we're taking homeless veterans out of local shelters, so that almost opens up beds for other people who may be finding themselves homeless.
It absolutely does. It frees up valuable space. As you know, we're at capacity now. The men's overflow shelter just opened last night. With funding issues with the men's overflow shelter, we were worried. It usually opens in October. It just opened last night. There are capacity issues with this economy. We're going to see more and more people. We did last year. We know we will this winter. And so it is going to free up valuable space in the shelters.
Let's talk about some of these great events. How can we get involved and help you out? What's going on? I know you guys have an upcoming event.
Yes, we do. We need to raise a significant amount of the money for this house. We already own the house, but renovations needed to be made to the house to make it livable and compliant for Disabilities Act. So we have an event tonight at Brew. It's called Veterans Voices, and that is...
it's a poetry reading.
It's a poetry reading, but they're all veterans, and they are reading their own poetry that they had written in writers' workshops.
And that's 5:30 tonight at, again, Brew Cafe. Information on your screen. And then you have another event coming up. Is it around Thanksgiving time?
Yes, we have an event at Thanksgiving. It's at Chip's Pancake House. Everyone knows Chip's Family Restaurant.
Yes.
Everybody loves Chip's and loves their pancakes. And George, the owner, has allowed us to have the restaurant Thanksgiving morning, 6:30 to 11, and all proceeds, everything. He's donating everything. He and his sister, they're donating everything, and all proceeds will go to the home front. Then there's also an event in December 8th at Cassius, the new cheese place in New Haven, and we will have an event there as well. And there'll be other events announced, and it'll be on our website.
Well, thank you both for the work that you do, because our veterans certainly need the help, and they deserve it. They deserve it. Well, listen, you can find out more about Columbus House by going to their website at columbushouse.org, or just come to our website. We've got all the information there, WTNH.com. Be sure to click on Connecticut Style. Let's take care of our veterans together. John Brooks, Dr. Lori Harkness, thank you so very much for being here. We appreciate you very much so. All right.